Hello and welcome along to another episode of this Cricket 19 career with me, Daniel. It's episode 28 and today we're picking up exactly where we left off in the last episode. We were in the midst of a one-day innings as we're trying to chase down a total. So firstly, for those of you that aren't up to date with the series or who did miss that last episode where we started this innings, please do click back on the eye above. You'll be able to catch up with the last episode to see exactly which point we've reached today. We'll go and click on the scorecard in a moment, so you will get a spoiler as to where we are. But in the meantime, a massive thank you to everyone that continues to follow the series. I really do appreciate it. And if you're new to the channel and enjoying the series, please do subscribe for 3 episodes a week from this series, as well as daily Football Manager videos. But let's go and have a look at the scorecard now, to remind you of where we were at the end of the last one. We've just reached our half century on 50 off 62 balls, and we're joined by Adam Life, the number 6, who's on 22 off 27. Just Johnny Bairstow to come afterwards, and then it's the tail end, I'm afraid. So it looks like it's going to be difficult to chase a total down, as we almost reached the 30 over mark. To remind you of the score we're chasing, it was 255 for 6 that Kent posted, so our run rate's looking absolutely fantastic. We're well on course to reach the total, with just 105 runs required. So we're trying to stick it out to the end. We're obviously determined to finish this innings not out. We've tried it a couple of times this season already and unfortunately fallen part way through. And of course there's a side note to this as well. We've got one day century this season and we could get another one yet, but to do that we'll have to score half of the runs and probably take more risk than we'd like. And with the 2 wickets we took in the first innings, in addition to our unbeaten score now, if we can get somewhere close to the Sam Billings score for Kent, maybe we could even get player of the match too. But we'll be back in a moment to face the first ball of the episode, where hopefully we'll be able to find a scoring shot. First ball of the 30th over then. The required rate is now just 5, as we're going slightly above that, and we're just taking low risk shots for now. We did discuss towards the end of the last episode, at which point do we go and be more aggressive. I don't think we need to at the moment, especially considering the required rate, but that point obviously could come soon, and we'll consider it if we get there. Oliver Jones, our former club teammate, I've checked since the last episode, he was the same player we had at Leeds, as we now move on to 51 and crash a single to the leg side again, as Adam Life saw off 5 dot balls. He's slowing the run rate, which doesn't really help us, but hopefully he'll score a few in this over. Life's on to 28 then. He managed to get 6 off the last over and the start of this one to Podmore. He bowls us an awkward line outside off stump, so we defend the first ball to him. We've got 3 more to find a run scoring shot. We've of course got that risky one down to third man, but I struggle with it particularly against the medium pacers, so we'll try and hook them round to the leg side like that, and even if it means we go at a slightly slower rate, we'll take it for now as there's no real scoreboard pressure. Well, it's all going right now. Adam Life's motoring at the other end. He's reached 41 almost immediately, and that's a wide, so we had another run there. We're certainly not going to get a century at this rate. The umpire remarkably didn't give that one. I'm not quite sure why. No wide, but it was miles down the leg side. Can anyone explain that for me? We've got Grant Stewart coming back in. He's got an economy of 4, but they have opened up the leg side here, so maybe we can get a boundary or 2. And look at the bottom, we've got Johnny Bairstow alongside us. Adam Life was going quickly, but unfortunately he's given away his wicket, and we've now got to be very careful. With 80 runs still to get, we're still just 5 wickets down. But of course that could change very quickly, though that boundary's going to help. A fantastic shot off the full ball to the leg side. We had 4 more and move on to 57. Can we follow it up with anything special? Grant Stewart goes for the short one this time. We pull to the leg side, but it finds the fielder, so we quickly cancel the run and we'll accept it's a dot ball. Yorkshire move on to 180, but we almost lost our wicket to the short one again. It's Grant Stewart, the medium pacer, still charging in over the wicket. This one's gone to the leg side again. I'm not sure it's got enough to reach the boundary. It has. It's a second 4 of the over. That's a fantastic shot again. And despite the 2 dot balls, we've got 8 runs off the over already. We're timing them perfectly, and there's a third. Maybe the century is on the cards. We're motoring along now, and with 1 ball left in the over, the total's getting nearer. A fantastic shot that is. deliveries, and they have now put a man out in the deep there. But this is going to be the match defining over as we rack up 12 runs despite 3 dot balls. Well, Johnny Bairstow likes the idea of us winning the game. Just a single from him to bring us back on strike, though we return the favour on this occasion as the fielders are on the outer circle, so we don't want to take too much of a risk. Just make sure we rotate the strike. Oliver Jones back in again then. He's been fairly economical so far. Bairstow seems like he's adding another boundary as we start the over with a single. Yorkshire edging towards 200 now, and we need far less than 1 a ball. We've got some pace back into the attack with Klassen now. He's bowled 6 of his 10 overs so far. There's nowhere really to go on the offside, and we tried to pull the short ball, but again it doesn't really bounce up, and it ended up being a dot. 55 required off 71. Bairstow's on 13, we're on 67, and as Yorkshire passed the 200 mark, we hit another single to the leg side. I'm not quite sure we're going to reach our century here, but it is going to be a big unbeaten score if we make sure we don't lose our wicket. Grant Stewart back in again. We had plenty of good times against him last time round. This time we don't beat the man at mid-wicket though. Tried to be a bit too clever and precise with our positioning, and it ended up costing us a single. So maybe we just need to take the one here and let Bairstow be the aggressor. He of course is the hero and a very good one-day player, so we want to be careful with him at the other end. We don't want to soak up too many deliveries as we put him back on strike on this occasion. 10 overs to go and power play 3's been activated. 45 required off 60, so 4.5 and over essentially, and we managed to get one to the leg side for a single, and as long as we get one off every ball, we'll win this match with ease. Let's see what Bairstow's got planned at the other end. Hopefully he'll go on a run scoring position now. He hasn't, unfortunately. Just 2 more off the rest of the over, and again the field's been brought in pretty well. This time we try and glance one off the hips, but it has ended up hitting our thigh pad. We do run through a quick leg bye though, and Johnny Bairstow's back on strike. Well, 2 of those 10 overs have gone, and we've only faced the first ball of each over. Johnny Bairstow not really rotating the strike. He's running 2s, 4s or nothing at all. We're only going to get one again, and we need our partner to rotate the strike. Bairstow's an experienced England pro, but he has to trust us and not do it on his own. Well, you can forget my last statement, because Johnny Bairstow's now on 39 off 35. He's managed to add runs very quickly, and now we're just going to feed him the strike. We need 23 off 41 after that single, and I'm sure Johnny Bairstow will get most of them. Again, he's seen off the rest of the over, and now we just need 15. We're back on strike on 72, and most importantly now, I just don't want to lose my wicket. I don't care if we don't add another run at this point, but an unbeaten score will surely improve our average. After the initial dot ball, can we find a run here? Just forced into defending again. Mulder's bowling a really good line. Johnny Bairstow's just 3 away from his half century, so this is no longer about us. It's now for us about staying in, getting an unbeaten score, and making sure our team get over the line, with Johnny Bairstow getting his half century. So we've got to take a back foot here and put our personal pride to the side. It's all about the team at this point, and we need to just try and get off strike. We flappered a single there and don't manage to get it as the ball goes through to the keeper. It's still a very good score, 72, though we are putting pressure on our teammates here. We're eating up deliveries, and despite the low chase now, we don't want to leave it for too many more. Another dot ball goes by, just 1 more left in the over. It could be a disaster to play out a maiden here, but Johnny Bairstow I'm sure will get the job done. This one's nearer the pads, but it swings away and we don't get anything on it, and we've allowed the 45th over to be a maiden due to our fear of playing on the offside. We've won by 5 wickets and not faced another ball, so we must have crashed them runs away pretty quickly. We're seeing some highlights from our boundaries there, most of them off Stewart in that 1 over for 12. A brilliant dominant innings. We did what we needed to in the end. We stayed in, we were defensively solid, and we helped our more aggressive partners. In the end we do manage to get man of the match, 72 unbeaten off 89 runs. It will really help our average, and what a time to do it in the semi-final of the Cup. If we can produce that display in the final again, I'm sure Yorkshire will win the competition. We've got Johnny Bairstow alongside us, who always has seemed to do brilliantly in this competition, and we're building some really nice partnerships with him, just as we did in that first class game at the very start of this season. We got 2 wickets for 4 runs as well. We were ridiculously good and economical with the ball. That's more a problem with the game rather than a success of our own, but it's still a really important part of this series as we try to make sure we're a batting all-rounder rather than just an opener. So 72 unbeaten is something we can really be proud of. We top score for our side and we produced the exact type of innings that was needed, not a quick one by one day standards, but a solid opening innings to make sure we were there from start to finish. Other players came and went and they played more quickly than us, but we were there at the end and were the anchor that saw us home. So a really brilliant display, something I'm very proud of, and we'll be back in a moment at the Career Hub to show you who we get in the final. I just thought I'd stop at this screen because we don't show you it very often, and particularly because we're quite close to milestones at the moment, so the batting ability points that we so desperately want are starting to creep up now. We've got 30 runs scored in that one, but a pretty big bonus to go with it. We're about halfway up to the next bowling ability point, but we're not too worried about those now, and the fielding one's even moving up as well, despite the fact we simulate through the innings. But if you look at our objectives at the bottom, we're getting quite close to 2 of the batting ones. Unfortunately, the other is to hit 15 sixes, and we haven't managed one in our career yet. But of course, as we get more power, that could happen, and as we develop physically, and we're also going to be playing in the T20 Blast soon, providing we get picked up by a team. I'd imagine this one-day form will make that happen, but of course you can never assume anything. So things are going pretty well in that regard. We're moving towards level 25 now, and everything seems to be progressing pretty rapidly, especially since we've reached county level and are playing far more games at a higher standard. We're back to the Career Hub and we've got a first class game in between now and the final. We're playing Moen Ali's Worcestershire side. That's going to be a really tough test. For me, it's going to be nice to get back to first class action, and our last couple of innings chasing have actually been pretty much like that. We've been playing at 1 every 2 balls, we've been going at a slower rate and trying to anchor an innings, something we'll have to do in first class cricket. Our first performance was absolutely brilliant, of course, those episodes at the start of the season, and now this is going to be our second match, so hopefully we can put on a great display. Then after that we'll be back on camera for the one-day final against Northamptonshire. Hopefully we'll be able to win the trophy for Yorkshire then and put in a similarly good display. Then after that we will try and focus on first class cricket, as that is the form we're most determined to succeed in, and obviously we want to be an Ashes winning captain, something that hopefully Joe Root will be in real life. But generally we're making really good progress this year, and I am excited for where this series is heading. I think we're going to get a call up for the T20 Blast, and then hopefully the Sheffield Shield over Christmas to get some more 4-day experience in the winter and playing in different conditions in Australia. Hopefully the pitch choice will reflect that, and we will get to play in very different conditions. Otherwise it could just be much of the same, although the flatter pitches should help us score more runs. But if you did enjoy this episode and you are enjoying the series, please do put a thumbs up on the video. It was certainly one of our more disciplined innings rather than an explosive, exciting one, but sometimes that is what's required, and we've got to make sure we produce a few more of them. As we focus on first class cricket after the final, that will be something we've got to work on, and those 1 or 2 areas where we kept getting out and rushing, we've got to try and fix to make it in the England side. Of course there's not too much competition at the moment when it comes to opening your batting for England. There are lots of people fighting not to do it at the moment, so I think we've just got to try and be consistent. If we do that we could be a real asset for our country, but of course we're pretty new to county cricket soon, so we have got to pace ourselves slightly. I think a winter in Australia could really help us, and we are getting close to selection for that, but of course we've got a big summer coming up in England first. We're talking very big for a player that's only played 1 first class game. Let me know in the comments who you think will win the one-day final. Will it be us or Northamptonshire? Do you think we can put on a similar display again? Or are we unfortunately going to fall at the final hurdle? Then after that, what are your thoughts on the first class season? Are we going to be able to follow up our debut? Or is it going to start to go wrong after a few games? Subscribe to the channel for 3 episodes a week from this Cricket 19 career, every Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday at midday. A massive thank you to everyone that continues to follow of the series, as well as the Ashes Test playthrough we did beforehand. I really do appreciate your support with both, and can't thank you enough for giving it a try. There's also daily FM19 content from my Torquay United story. That's every Sunday to Thursday at 4:30, as we move to our new schedule now, and then over the next few weeks we'll have plans for FM20 and react to announcements about new features that'll be coming out over the next few weeks. Then finally there's weekly content from our Snooker 19 career. That's every Friday at 4:30. We're in the final tournament of the series there, as we try to emulate Ronnie O'Sullivan. We're desperate to win the World Championships in what will be the final event of the story, and we'll be showing you action from every round over the next month or so, unless we obviously get knocked out early on. So I hope you'll come and join me to see if we can finish on a high, but in the meantime a massive thanks for watching this one, and your continued support with the series as always. I really do appreciate it, and I hope to see you next time for another important episode as we play Northamptonshire in the One Day Cup final.